call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god. You call me a god.
Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, gotta fill up.
Okay, what is going on, good people? And welcome back to the Juggernaut Show. I'm your host, Juggernaut097, and today I'm here to give you my TNA Bound for Glory 2024 review. So, Bound for Glory was this past Saturday, October 26th, 2024, and this was on pay-per-view. This was the 20th anniversary of doing Bound for Glories, which it's hard to believe they've been doing this for 20 years. Yeah. Overall, I thought this was a very enjoyable show, like from top to bottom. I mean, there were a few things I kind of have a, have a gripe about, but overall, it was a very, very good Bound for Glory this year. And to be honest, I really haven't been watching weekly television for TNA like that. But I was like, you know what? I was looking through the match card and I go, like, this card looks pretty good. I say that for a lot of shows, but no, this card looked pretty good. I mean, you had Full Metal Mayhem on here. You had the Hardy Boys going up against ABC, going up against who was it? Brian Myers and Eddie Edwards, the system. You had I Believe in Joe Hendry. You had him going for the world title on here. Joe Hendry's so over right now. Yeah, I mean, this was a typical, TNA show. It was good. I really enjoyed it. And the presentation looked really good also. It wasn't that bad, This was like a really full crowd here. Like this is the highest grossing like event that they had for TNA in 2024, which is pretty cool. And this is like the highest grossing Bound for Glory since like 10 years ago. So yeah, it was good. And the lighting, the whole presentation, like I said, this whole stage looked good. It was a fun show. This is the biggest pay-per-view of the year, that they do, every year for TNA. Bound for Glory is the biggest show of the year, so they had to go, all out with this. I didn't watch the countdown to Bound for Glory. I didn't really care about watching that. And I would have had this review out yesterday, but I was watching Bound for Glory yesterday because on Saturday night I went to AW Collision in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. So if you guys haven't checked out my vlog, definitely check out my vlog after this show. I had some pretty good seats for Collision. So if you guys checked out Collision, or if you haven't checked out Collision, definitely go check it out. I'm on TV a lot. I was wearing my Switchblade JY t-shirt in second row with my Iowa hat on. So yeah. But yeah, TNA Bound for Glory. Yeah, this was a pretty fun show. So let's quit wasting time. Let's go ahead and get started with this review, shall we? So the first match that kicked off the night was, and this is on the actual card, so we had the X Division Championship start off the show. That's usually how TNA likes to start off the shows. So we had Mike Bailey defending the title against El Hijo del Vikingo. Now, Vikingo, was it Vikingo? No. It was Mike Bailey. He had a great match last year. I believe it was against Will Ospreay at Bound for Glory 2023. That was a wild match. So, Mike Bailey, he really fits the X Division. This was your typical like flippity dippity type of match. You had a whole bunch of high spots in this match, some crazy stuff. But it just wasn't them just doing random high flying moves for like no reason. No, they actually have a reason to do these moves. And there isn't really much of a build up for this match here. And really, I don't know much of the build up for some of these matches because, like I said, I haven't been watching weekly television like that. But yeah, this was this was a solid opener. Mike Bailey and Vikingo, they were going back with like a lot of strikes and a lot of kind of like martial arts type of stuff, which is cool. There was a really cool spot where Vikingo, he went up to the top, on top of the ring post, and Mike Bailey was on the apron, and they did a Canadian Destroyer. That was a cool spot in the match. I don't think I ever really seen a Canadian Destroyer done on the apron, or you don't really see it a lot. And in AEW, the Canadian Destroyer is so overdone, but it was pretty nice here. You didn't see a whole bunch of Canadian Destroyers here, which was nice. Mike Bailey, he hit a really cool corkscrew springboard on the outside of the ring to Vikingo. That was pretty nice in the match. This was just a fun high flying match, and even Vikingo, he hit a pretty cool corkscrew on the outside of the ring. Like I said, that's really a fast paced action, high flying. The X division, there's no limits. Mike Bailey ended up retaining the title here. He hit a whatchamacallit? What's his finisher? It's like kind of like a fisherman suplex in a way. That's what he hit. He tried going for his ultimate weapon, but then that didn't end up putting him away. He tried hitting his flamingo driver, but Vikingo was reversing that. Vikingo was going for his 630. It's kind of like a 450 in a way, like a 630 senton. So that was pretty nice. But yeah, this was definitely a fun opener. A fun way to start off the show. One of the best matches of the night, in my opinion. Like, I always love the X division. Like I said, there's no limits with the X division here. Okay. So, the next match of the night, we had the TNA Knockouts tag team titles on the line. We had Spitfire, which was Jody Threat, and what's their partner's name? Give me a sec. Jody Threat and Danny Luna. Sorry, I can't remember the name for a minute. Going up against Rosemary and Wendy Chu. So Wendy Chu, of course, she's from NXT. And Tom Hannafin, he's been, staying on commentary, go like, oh yeah, an NXT or like a WWE superstar is gonna come in and like win a TNA championship. But to be honest, that wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, because then you have to bring in, Wendy Chu for tapings, and then vice versa. Rosemary has to go over to NXT and do some shows. So you have to crisscross back and forth each week and stuff, which, they don't do. TNA does like a whole bunch of tapings together. So, Wendy Chu could have did that. But Rosemary, she would have had to go to Orlando, Florida and stuff. She had to do a lot of TV shows for NXT. It'd be cool to see an NXT superstar win a TNA title, or vice versa, seeing a TNA star win a WWE title. But like I said, it's this conflicting like with schedules and all of that, going back and forth. But I do like this partnership that WWE and TNA is doing. Like, I really think this is benefiting TNA quite a bit. Let's get more eyes on their product. I just wish they would do more with this partnership. Maybe they might. Because I was listening to someone's podcast talking about with the whole Hall of Fame, how with this open like relationship that they got going on right now, maybe there are some like WWE superstars that can get inducted to the TNA Hall of Fame, like an AJ Styles, because he said he'd definitely be opened up to being in the Hall of Fame. But I like this kind of like working partnership. It's better than the TNA, or better than the TNA and AEW partnership that they had during the pandemic. But Spitfire ended up retaining here. Rosemary and Wendy Chu, they had some mishaps in this match. There was one point where Wendy Chu ended up suplexing Rosemary. They ended up like colliding at one point. Yeah, Spitfire ended up retaining. They hit their Their finisher is called the. It's called the. I'll tell you here in a minute. I can't. The pressure drop. The pressure drop. That's why I'm my notes here. So they hit the pressure drop onto Wendy Chu. She ended up taking the pin, which makes sense here. And then after the match, we had Rosemary attack Wendy Chu, give her a spear, which, like I said, doesn't really surprise me. So they'll probably have like a blow off match at the next special, which is Turning Point, at the end of November here. So, and then they'll go their separate ways after this, or maybe Rosemary will end up coming up on a few episodes of NXT. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We will definitely see what happens. But yeah, Spitfire ended up retaining the titles here, and what was a decent match. Nothing too crazy. All right, and then the next match. This is probably one of my favorite matches of the night. We had Josh Alexander going up against Steve Macklin. And apparently, Josh Alexander has like I think he's a heel right now. Someone can go down in the comments below. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Josh is working as a heel. I mean, he definitely did. He was doing a lot of heel tactics in this match. But he has this faction going on. I don't know what their faction's called exactly. But they had some like conflicting, like with they couldn't get to Detroit or something. So they weren't out there by ringside with him. Going up against Steve Macklin, which Steve Macklin was getting a good reaction here. Yeah, this was definitely a hard hitting match. Both guys, they worked together before. They know each other's style. Steve Macklin, he was hitting a whole bunch of German suplexes onto Josh Alexander in the match. There was one point in the match where Josh Alexander he hit like a world's strongest slam on the side of the apron. That was pretty cool in the match. I also like when Josh Alexander, when he has his opponent sitting on the apron on the outside of the ring, and he does that like tope to the outside. That's pretty cool in the match. Yeah, both guys. This was definitely like a physical match. Both guys are brawling at the beginning of the match. Yeah, I believe it was Josh Alexander who was making his entrance down, and they started brawling, started attacking each other. There's one point in the match where Steve Macklin, or Josh Alexander, zip tied Steve Macklin's arms behind his back. So, like I said, definitely that's some heel tactics right there. You won't see a face really doing that. I mean, sometimes you might see a face doing that, but yeah, that's definitely some heel tactics. But yeah, Steve Macklin, he just kept on fighting. He, did some like headbutts, while his arms were tied behind his back. The ref tried to untie his hands, but Steve Macklin was like, "No, I got this. He said, "I'm going to do this without any hands." Steve Macklin hit like a Psycho knee while his hands were behind his back. Yeah, Steve Macklin, he was definitely fighting here. He was trying to fight back, but ultimately, Josh Alexander, I think he hit like a C4 spike, and then he locked in the ankle lock. Steve Macklin, he couldn't get to the ropes because his hands were tied behind his back. So ultimately, Steve Macklin ends up passing out to the ankle lock, and that's how Josh Alexander wins. So I mean, it doesn't really make Steve Macklin look weak here. Maybe they'll possibly continue this feud. I don't know. Apparently, I've been hearing rumors that Josh Alexander could be heading to WWE in the future, which would be pretty interesting. I don't know what type of reaction he would get. Maybe put him back with Ethan Page. I don't know. That'd be something interesting. But yeah, Josh Alexander wins here. Next match we had was the Monsters Ball match between PCO and Matt Cardona, and the international title and the Digital Media Championship were on the line here. So we had the Canadian Frankenstein going up against Deathmatch King Matt Cardona. Yeah, this was quite a match here, I gotta say. I like the whole getup that Matt Cardona was wearing for his attire, kind of like a Ghostbusters type of look. PCO, he was doing his normal stuff in this match. He throwing his body at Matt Cardona so much. A lot of crazy spots in this match. There was one point where Matt Cardona, he had like a door, and he had like two chairs set up, made it kind of like into a table, and he had a couple chairs underneath. PCO ended up going into the door and all those chairs. That was pretty crazy spot in the match. Of course, we had to see thumbtacks. We had to see thumbtacks in this match. PCO ended up getting thumbtacks. Matt Cardona put thumbtacks in his mouth, and then Matt Cardona, he hit his reboot or whatever, his running boot into the corner. So he hit that. There was a pretty cool spot with there was this barbed wire bat, and it was like all green. It's like had this like whole type of like Ghostbusters type of look, with like green slime on it. And I also like that Matt Cardona, he was wearing gloves. Like this wasn't insulting my intelligence. Going like, hey, he was playing it safe, like being pretty smart, like with holding the bat with some gloves on, so so he wouldn't hurt his hands, which is smart. PCO, like I said, he was just going for a lot of dives. There was one point where he went for a tope, but Matt Cardona hit him with a was a trash can lid. What else did we have? Yeah, we had a lot and there were some points in the match where PCO, he had thumbtacks in his face and like on his cheek and stuff. And it was wild. And we had some more thumbtacks. If one thumbtacks bag was enough, we had some more. Matt Cardona ended up going through those the second time. But PCO ended up winning. He hit his PCO salt onto Matt Cardona. And so he ends up retaining both titles. We didn't see no Steph DeLander here. Because PCO and Steph DeLander have this whole like love dynamic relationship going on right now. But yeah, this was a fun, hardcore match. I enjoyed it. Good Monsters ball. All right. And then the next match we had was Moose going up against Mike Santana. So what I kind of got from this whole storyline here with the video package that they showed. So Mike Santana, ever since him returning, he's just been getting attacked by the system. Moose, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, Dirty Dango, or JCD, whatever you want to call him. He's been getting attacked by him. Mike Santana's just been trying to destroy this faction. And we had JCD accompany with Moose here in this match. This was definitely a hard hitting match. I enjoyed this. Yeah, this was definitely a sleeper match right here. I mean, we already knew what Moose could do. Mike Santana, is cool seeing him back in TNA. Mike Santana ended up picking up I'm just gonna call him Santana. Santana ended up picking up the victory by hitting his spin the block, which is this like a rolling discus elbow lariat. So that was good. Moose, he was being dominant. He hit a sky high off the top rope. That was pretty cool in the match. This is just a big men's match here. Maybe they'll be putting not Moose. Maybe they'll be putting Mike Santana up to the world title scene after this. I have a feeling because, dude, there's so much potential to do with Santana. So, and being a baby face, getting a good reaction here. People like him here. So, yeah, Mike Santana, good victory here. Not a whole lot to say else, but yeah, good match. Okay. And then the next match, so they were tagging the show or they were saying that, a triple main event. So here we go into our triple main event matches. So we had the TNA Knockouts title on the line. We had Jordynne Grace defending the title against Masha Slamovich. And they had this same match a few years ago, back at Bound for Glory 2022, which I thought that Masha Slamovich was going to be winning there. I thought that it was her time to win the title. But unfortunately, it wasn't. And also, pretty cool going back to that. So Jordynne Grace, she was wearing all white in that match. But now she's wearing red and white, which Masha Slamovich, she was wearing red and white during that last match, but now she's wearing all white. So it's kind of like a little roles reversed here in a way. Both these girls, they have so much chemistry with each other. Both girls are like just strong, like juggernauts in the way. Hey, listen here, Jordynne Grace, you need to pay me my royalties because this is copyright infringement. I am the real Juggernaut. You're the fake one. I'm just kidding. No, I don't want any beef with Jordynne Grace. I don't want any shoot interviews with her. But yeah, this was a really fun match. Like I said, both women really know each other's movesets quite a bit. Jordynne Grace, she was hitting a lot of hitting a lot of like callbacks to like a lot of some past wrestlers, which is pretty cool. She tried hitting a muscle buster at one point. Was it a muscle buster? I believe so. She tried hitting some different, TNA, going back, doing a lot of recalls for some people, which is pretty cool. But Masha Slamovich, she ends up winning here. She hits her snowplow off the top rope, and then doing hitting like a pile driver afterwards to become the new TNA Knockouts champion. Finally, Masha Slamovich has become Knockouts champion. What it feels like it's been overdue for her. She should have won it back in 2022, but that's neither here or there. But hey, she finally did it. She finally did it. And I'm wondering, is Jordynne Grace, WWE bound, after her contract is up? I could possibly see that. But that's why they're taking the title off her right now. But yeah, this Knockouts division is really strong. I'm wondering who's going to be challenging Masha next for this title. Maybe Jordynne Grace gets a rematch, or I don't know. There's just so many directions that they can go. I'm definitely going to be tuning into more Weekly Impact because I'm definitely intrigued to see where they go with Masha's Knockouts title reign. But this was definitely fun. I don't know. Maybe they can pump Rosemary after she gets done with Wendy Chu after they do a little rivalry. But I don't know. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see where they go with this with Masha. But fun match here, fun match. All right. And then the next match we had was the TNA World Title on the line. We had Nic Nemeth defending the title against Joe Hendry, and Frankie Kazarian was the special guest referee in this match. And also earlier in the night, they had that whole call your shot gauntlet, which Frankie Kazarian ended up winning. I thought they would have had the call your shot gauntlet on the actual show. I didn't really check out the call your shot gauntlet, but I saw the highlights of it and stuff. They showed highlights later on the night that Frankie Kazarian won. Cool. Usually, the winner that they have, is pretty big into like a storyline. And Frankie Kazarian, he's in this big storyline here with like Nic Nemeth, and he's being this cocky prick right now. He's all stuck up, can do whatever he wants. I kind of like this Frankie Kazarian. It's pretty cool. But yeah, he ends up winning the call your shot gauntlet, so he can get any title shot. He can go for any title that anytime he wants, kind of like like a Money in the Bank, in a way. So you had this kind of like lurking in the background, like, hey, is Frankie Kazarian going to end up screwing one of them and like going to get a new referee out here and calling a shot? I mean, yeah, we did see that in the match towards the last few minutes of this match. I had a lot of crazy fuckery at the end. The ending was a little bit overdone, in my opinion. In my opinion, the ending was overdone. Joe Hendry, he was so over here. People wanted to see him win the world title. Everybody was saying, "I believe in Joe Hendry." Everybody was singing that. Everybody was going crazy for it. Everybody and their mama was. It was wild. But Nic Nemeth and Joe Hendry, they worked really good in this match. They worked really good. Nic Nemeth, the type of worker he is, he can, really sell with the best of them. And Joe Hendry, he was doing some nice stuff. But it came down, the thing that kind of turns me off with this match is the whole ending with there are rumors about JBL or John Bradshaw being here, which he did show up. Both it's every guy is down. The referee, Frankie Kazarian gets taken out. Great, here starts the fuckery. And also this being the co-main event, Joe Hendry, he's gonna get some way screwed out of this match. Everybody's down, and then Frankie Kazarian ends up calling another referee out, but that wasn't happening. We had JBL come out, take out, give Frankie Kazarian a clothesline, lays his ass out, and then lays Joe Hendry out. And then that this ends and then now Nic Nemeth ends up hitting a super kick and ends up hitting the zigzag. What's his finisher called? The danger zone. That's what they call his finisher here in TNA. So ends up hitting that, and then Nic Nemeth is still your TNA World Champion. So I feel like there's more to be done with this feud here with Nic Nemeth and Joe Hendry. But I gotta say this: in 2025, Joe Hendry is going to be TNA World Champion. Maybe by, I don't know, the next pay-per-view, which is in January. Genesis. They're bringing back Genesis, which is cool. It's going to be the January pay-per-view instead of Hard to Kill. So we're getting Genesis back. So that's a cool thing. But yeah, Nic Nemeth is still the TNA World Champion here. Next, we had the main event. Full Metal Mayhem for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. We had the System, Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, defending titles against ABC, Ace Austin and Chris Bey. Defending titles against Matt and Jeff, the Hardys. Yes, that's right. I said the Hardys. They were main eventing on this show. When I saw that they were main eventing the show, I was like, yeah, I know that they're winning these titles here. I knew it. And everything was and they had a whole bunch of stuff represent Jeff Hardy and stuff. The canvas was a whole bunch of there's different colors for Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy was trying to recreate, the triangle ladder match again, which they were doing pretty good this, because I think it was 25 years or so. That's what they sound commentary since the first triangle ladder match. So they were doing a lot of callbacks in this match here, going back to the first triangle ladder match and going back to Mania 17, which we'll talk about these spots here. Yeah, everything was just so colorful, even the steel chairs. I think Jeff Hardy, he probably painted this stuff or whatever. He could probably, and then the tables, they were all Jeff Hardy like. So they were paying respects to the Hardys here. Crazy spots in this match. There's a point in the match where Chris Bey, they're in the crowd. He gets a table, and I believe he does a splash onto Eddie Edwards off the out of the risers. That was pretty cool from Chris Bey in the match. Like I said, a lot of crazy high spots. Jeff Hardy got a big, huge ladder in this match. They made a ladder bridge in between the ladder that was standing. Kind of going back to the first, like I said, the first triangle ladder match where you had a ladder in between. So that was pretty cool. There were some technical difficulties with Triller. during this match. Like there were points where it went to like no signal, which was terrible. Jeff Hardy, he hit a nice swanton bomb. He was on top of a ladder, and Brian Myers was laying on the table, and a swanton bomb off the top of the ladder into Brian Myers laying on the table. You know, classic Jeff Hardy, classic spot. Chris Bey, he hit a really nice art of finesse. I can't remember. I think it was on Eddie Edwards. He was on top of the ladder, and he just like gets popped up. He does like a springboard type of art of finesse onto Eddie Edwards while he was on the ladder. That I never seen that before. That was pretty cool. What else do we have? Like I said, there's a lot of spots in here, like trying to recreate. Go back to these. Oh, how can I forget? Chris Bey, he was hanging on to both the titles. At one point, he was swinging from the titles. Brian Myers was on another ladder, and they replayed that spot from Mania 17, hitting the spear off the ladder. You know, of course, Brian Myers is friends with Adam Copeland or Edge. So, you know, paying homage to Edge there. So that was cool. Ended up doing that spot. That was really good. This was just a fun match. I mean, there was one point where Jeff Hardy hit Twist of Fate. I can't remember who was on. I think it might have been on Eddie Edwards. Hit a Twist of Fate, and then hit like a reverse Twist of Fate. So that was pretty cool. I can't remember what they call that, like a change of script or something like that. But yeah, fun match. Like I said, a lot of paying homage to a lot of these past triangle ladder matches. But Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy ended up winning the TNA World Tag Team titles. And it's crazy to think about because like I was looking at this like man, wouldn't it be nice to see the Hardy Boys have one more title reign as tag team champions before they retire? Because they're definitely going to be going to the Hall of Fame maybe next year. I don't know. Maybe they get inducted to the Hall of Fame next year for TNA, and eventually they're going to get inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame. I'd like to see Jeff and Matt have one more title reign in WWE as well. Just one more. Did they ever win the AEW tag team titles? I don't think so. No, they never won they should have won them in AEW. But yeah, fun match here. Like I said, when they made this match to me, like, yeah, I knew the Hardy Boys were going to win here. I just knew it. But this was fun though. I really enjoyed it. Fun match. Everybody worked really well. But yeah, that was the main event of Bound for Glory. So, hopefully you guys all enjoyed my review. Tell me what you guys thought of TNA Bound for Glory. I thought this was a very enjoyable show in my opinion. I'm definitely going to try to stay caught up more with TNA coming up here in the future. So definitely stay tuned for that. I'll probably do a review of their next pay-per-view. I won't do a watch along, but I'll do a review of it. Which I did a watch along for Halloween Havoc and TNA Bound for Glory. So you guys can go check out those watch alongs if you want. But yeah, we're coming to the end of the video here. If this is your first time ever checking out my channel, hit that subscribe button. That really helped me out a lot. Hit that like button. Also, turn on the notification bell to be notified every time I make a new video. And also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @TheTrueJSB. Once again, it's at @TheTrueJSB. And with that being said, this is your boy Juggernaut saying peace out, and I will see you guys in my next video. So, peace.